Welcome everybody to day 3 of ENVIRO BEHES. We are with two teams from the CUBS division. We have C044 and C005. We welcome all our viewers to this round of the debate. May I call upon the first speaker from the proposition to begin the debate for us? First speaker of the proposition, please begin.
It is Gursirat Kaur.
Gursirat, please begin.
Hi everyone, I'm the first speaker from the Ecomedians. So there is no doubt in the statement that everyone should be vegetarian. Oh yes, of course, everyone should be vegetarian. Then we feel animals are friends who have the equal rights to live on the same earth, to their lifespan. A variety of veggies are available with the same amount of the fats, proteins, carbohydrates, and all other necessary nutrients on the earth. So why do we move towards animals? For such things, the question arises here. Is there any need to kill animals to fill our bellies? Is it a justice? Can't we live without eating non-veg like chicken, mutton, etc.? I want answers for my question. On the other hand, there is no harm if we change our lifestyle or eating habits. If we shift from non-veg to veg, there will no any harm or deficiency of all the nutrients, because we must be very grateful of the Almighty God who has given us the variety, the plenty of green grocery. To some extent, people can eat non-veg. So I would like to give a suggestion that to some extent, people can eat non-veg to move from or to transfer their eating habits from non-veg to veg. It will take a very less time to be habitual of veg. We must join our hands. We must join our hands, and I request all the Indians and all the people of the world, I just request them to just transform their lives, their eating habits to vegetarian, because there will be no any kind of deficiency if we are not eating the non-veg, if we are even eating the veg, because there are some animals that are just being silenced due to the eating habits of people, as they are just killed to get food and they are really now endangered. So we must need to join our hands to just stop eating non-veg, to just change our eating habits, our lifestyle, as we can also live by eating the green veggies, which are giving us the same amount of nutrients that we are getting from the non-veg. Thank you.
Thank you, Gursirat, for that wonderful start to the debate. We shall now wait a minute before we move on to the first speaker of the opposition.
Thank you.
स्टार्ट नहीं करा
May we have the first speaker from the opposition to open the team's case for us?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Mark Twain said, "The two important days of our life is the day when we are born and the day when we find out why." A very good evening to the respected educator and all the worthy opponents. Here Anushka Dalal, the KLite, and today I am going to represent my school in this ENVIRO BEHES competition. I strongly oppose the motion that we all should be vegetarian. The strange thing is, if we all should be told to stop eating the meat because it's harmful to the animals, then we don't might as well as stop eating. I don't believe that even a complete vegetarians are living without harming other animals. Plants are alive just like the animals are, and we harm them constantly. In fact, everything around us comes from the same place, where we all are made being stuck. Even kicking the wall and cultivating the earth can be considered as the harmful act. If we all are becoming vegetarians, then there will be the shortage of the plants, and the food chain is also very sensitive. From eating millions of animals per eating to be none. What would we do with all the extra population? We had to kill some of them, and if we are going to be dead, they all might have get eaten. If we all are becoming vegetarians, then there will be a shortage of plants and the animals too. Many vegetarians argue that their lifestyles make their life healthier, and those who eat the meat, their lives are difficult. Although we certainly won't discredit the many benefits of vegetarian diet, there are reasons to believe that a well-balanced omnivorous diet is far healthier. Studies have repeatedly shown that the non-vegetarian supplement diets with vitamin D, B12, and irons are prone to becoming dangerously anemic. Vegetarians are typically miss out on omega-3 fatty acids. These unsaturated acids have been proven to slow and progression of anthrological reduce triglyceride levels and anti-inflammatory agents, and potentially help with depression and some personality disorders. Research at Oxford University recently followed 35,000 individuals aged 20 to 89 for a period of 5 years and discovered that vegans are 30% more likely to break the bone than the non-vegetarian. Vegetarian are very good for health, but I strongly believe that the non-vegetarian food is also good for us. But the new research found that consuming more fruits and vegetables and seafood is more harmful because of our environment, because those foods who relatively high source uses the greenhouse gas emission per calorie. Eating lettuce is over 3 times worse in greenhouse gas emission than eating bacon. That is the difference between the vegetarian and the non-vegetarian, said one of the researchers, Paul Fischak, professor at Cameron Mellon University. In the US, lots of common vegetables require more resource per calorie than you would think. Eggplant, celery, and cucumber look particularly bad when compared to pork or chicken. Fischbach said the study measured the changes in energy use, blue footprint, and GHS, that is greenhouse gas emission, associated with US food consumption patterns. The non-vegetarian diet includes chicken, meat, eggs, and fish. A non-vegetarian diet also has several health benefits because this type of food is rich in protein and vitamin B. Non-vegetarian food strengthens our muscles, and then that helps us our muscles and bones to grow faster and faster. What I believe is non-vegetarian foods contain a much higher amount of calcium than the vegetarian food, and hence people having non-veg regularly are at least likely to suffer from calcium, are at least unlikely to suffer from the calcium deficiency compared to the vegetarians. So here I rest my words that we should be vegetarian, but don't forget to, like, it's not bad to be a non-vegetarian, because if we will not be, if there are no vegetarians on the earth, firstly the food chain will got disrupted, the plants will increase in the order, and the population will also get increased. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anushka, for that wonderful start to the case of the opposition. We shall now wait a minute before we move on to the second speaker of the proposition. Can we now have the second speaker from the proposition to continue their case for us?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can I start?
Yes, Sudhir, please begin.
Good evening, everyone. So, I Sujit Verma from Class 6 Beta. So, today I'll represent Brookfield International School, Kurali, Chandigarh. So, I want to say that we should have a vegetarian diet as from a non-vegetarian diet, because the earth is not made for the human being. It is made for the all the living beings. So I want to tell some points that all over the world, 1.2 trillion aquatic animals are killed all over the world every year. More than 200 million animals are killed every day. And when we include aquatic animals also, then the amount is 3 billion animals were killed every day. We can take the protein from the vegetables. And a meat-free diet can lead to a better health in many ways. And a vegetarian diet is more digestive. Eating vegetarian food can reduces cancer risk, prevents diabetes, lowers blood pressure, decreases asthma symptoms, promotes bone health. A research of Loma Linda University in United States has proved that vegetarians live 10 years longer than non-vegetarians. There is no nutritional need for humans to eat any animal products. All of our fibers, di- uh, they, our dietary needs, even an infants and children, best supplied by an animal-free diet. The majority of human could health live their whole lives without eating meat. So we should add more fruits and dairy products so that they can fill the deficiency of vitamins. We should add dairy alternatives added to our diet because they are needed for calcium, and calcium is essential for human beings as children grow. They need lots of nutrients, and a vegetarian diet contains all the nutrients the earth is not nutrients. I want to say that the which people say that we get the protein of from the meat. I want to say them that we got only iron, vitamin B12, and protein from meat. But in vegetarian diet, we get many other things. So the same protein is there in the paneer, cheese, beans, and sprouts. So thank you everyone. So I want, ma'am, I finished my words here.
Thank you, Sudhir, for expanding on the case of the proposition. We will wait a minute before we move on to the second speaker of the opposition. May I now call upon the second speaker from the opposition?
Okay, ma'am. I never drink cow milk. I always opt for the soya alternative. And when I eat most dairy products, it tends to be in extremely small doses. However, being a vegetarian means that I have to get more protein from somewhere. So I eat eggs and chicken about once a week. A great evening to one and all present here. I am Jivani from KL International School. It can make you gain weight and lead to high blood pressure and high cholesterol as well, and other more health problems. You can get protein from other foods too, like yogurt, eggs, beans, and even vegetables. The disadvantages of a vegetarian diet include the lack of meat products such as poultry, beef, pork, and fish. Through these is subjective, many people around the world have an aversion to have a meatless diet because they are feared they would miss consuming meat due to the personal preference or cultural reasons. They help drive demand for many vegetarian people meat alternatives on the market. So main vegetarian benefits and disadvantages related to the health rather than taste. According to the dietary guidelines of Americans, a vegetarian diet can be balanced by including a wide variety of foods. However, there are several nutrients that being vegetarian are at an increased risk of having a deficiency in such vitamins B12 and iron. The health disadvantages of being a vegetarian can be avoided by carefully eating the right products and naturally completed. To get rid of those amino acids, vegetarian must consume various sources of protein. The main nutrients to worry about in vegetarian diet are vitamin B12 and iron. According to the National Institutes of Health, vitamin B12 mainly comes from animal products like beef and seafood. Because of this, vegetarian at increased risk of B12 deficiency. Vegetarians may need to increase their consumption of eggs, milk, fortified foods, and other supplements to meet this need. Iron is another cause of concern on a vegetarian in a diet. In May 2018, study published in Critical Reviews in Food, Science and Nutrition research found that vegetarians are mostly likely acquire on iron deficiency than non-vegetarians. Keratin is also an amino acid used by the muscles that is made of other amino acids like glycine, arginine and methylomethane. It is commonly taken in the supplement from professional athletes. One of the top reasons people avoid being vegetarian is because they are worried they don't get enough protein. Luckily, this concern as a big deal as people make it out, being that it is more preventional than real. As you become more savvy vegetarian, you will discover hidden. Now, vegetarians are fearful that they won't get enough options and they simply don't know where to start. It may seem like almost every dish contains meat, but this simply isn't the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Aksh, for taking the case forward. We shall now wait a minute before we move on to the third speaker from the proposition, the last speaker for the team. Can we have the third speaker of the proposition to close the case for the team?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to all. My name is Vidant Agarwal. I study in 5th standard in Brookfield International School. Now, I'm going to add some important points to my teammate words. A lot of scientific evidence indicates that wholesome vegetarian diets offer distinct advantages compared to diets containing meats. I intend to support my opinion with my arguments. Undoubtedly, there are many benefits of a vegetarian diet. To begin with, vegetarian diets are easy to digest, whereas meats can be difficult to digest. The fats in meats are saturated, which means they are unhealthy and contribute to higher cholesterol levels. Plant sources of food are rich in fiber, complex carbohydrates, magnesium, folic acid, vitamin C and E, and other phytochemicals. Dietary fiber help prevent colon cancer, which is more prevalent in meat eaters. Moreover, it is completely wrong to kill an insentient animal for our food and health. It is cruel to kill the animals for the nutrients that are sufficiently in vegetarian diets also. To add more, sometimes we consume the meat of the animals which is suffered with a deadly disease. Unfortunately, we consume it and get sick. For example, bird flu and coronavirus are the examples of the ailments that are spread by eating meat of bird and bats respectively. Additionally, meat is rich in fats and cholesterol, which can cause high BP and heart diseases. A team of researchers in Loma Linda University in USA has shown vegetarian men live for an average of 10 years longer than non-vegetarian men. For women, being vegetarian added 6 years to their lives. It is a myth that people believe that only non-vegetarian people can stay fit and healthy. I believe if a person follows a vegetarian balanced diet and perform exercises, yoga regularly, he can be more fit and healthier than non-vegetarian one. As me and my team members told many adverse effects of a non-vegetarian diet on our health. Eating meat not only put a harmful effect on human beings, but it is also bad for our environment. If man continued to kill these insentient animals, then their population will become very low, which will imbalance our ecosystem because every animal has its own crucial role in environment. If any of them would be removed from the food chain, then whole ecosystem would be on stake. No one would like to disturb the ecosystem because it can cause many environmental issues which cannot be prevented. What is more, our vegetation is our vegetation is enriched in variety of vegetables, fruits, cereals, pulses, dairy products, and nuts, which are rich in every type of nutrient. So there is no need to cut animals for this nutrient such as vitamins, minerals, proteins, etc. I am going to wrap my words by leaving my opponent a question that non-vegetarian food is only rich in protein, iron, vitamin B12, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids. But what about other nutrients like carbohydrates, other vitamins, minerals, etc.? Vegetarian food is rich in every nutrient. So, how being a non-vegetarian can keep us to stay longer? Thank you, ma'am. I want to say these words only.
Apologies, everyone. I got disconnected due to some internet problem. Uh, I missed, I think, only the last half minute of the speech. So the last debater, would they like to repeat their last part if they want to?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, could you please tell that where you were disconnected?
Yes, I can. Give me a second. I got disconnected at the part where you were speaking about the study by the US and that women lived 6 years longer, I think. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. A team of researchers at Loma Linda University in USA has shown vegetarian men live for an average of 10 years longer than non-vegetarian men. For women being not for women being vegetarian, it added 6 years to their lives. It is a myth that people believe that only a non-vegetarian people can stay fit and healthy. I believe that if a person follows the vegetarian balanced diet and perform exercises, yoga regularly, he can be fit and healthier than a non-vegetarian person. As me and my team members told many adverse effects of a non-vegetarian diet on our health. Eating meat not only put a harmful effect on human beings, but it is also bad for our environment. If man continue to kill these innocent animals, then their population will become very low, which will imbalance our ecosystem because every animal has its own crucial role in environment. If any of them would be removed from the food chain, then whole ecosystem will be on stake. No one would like to disturb the ecosystem because it can cause many environmental issues which cannot be prevented. What is more, our vegetation is enriched in varieties of vegetable, fruits, cereals, pulses, dairy products, and nuts, which are rich in every type of nutrients. So there is no need to cut animals for these nutrients such as vitamins, minerals, proteins, etc. I'm going to wrap my words, leaving my opponent a question that non-vegetarian food is only rich in proteins, iron, vitamin B12, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids. But what about other nutrients like carbohydrates, other vitamins, and minerals? Vegetarian food is rich in every nutrient. So, how being a non-vegetarian can help us to stay longer? Thank you, ma'am. I would like to say this only.
Thank you, Vedant. That was the last speaker from the team proposition. We shall now wait a minute before we call on Triveni, who is the last speaker from the opposition. Can we now have the last speaker for our debate?
Yes, ma'am. Hello, everyone. My name is Jivani and I am here from Nature Nurturers from Kiel International School. And today, I strongly oppose the fact that everyone should be vegetarian. If you think everyone should be vegetarian, that is where you are wrong. Killing may be wrong, but if it is killed for humans, the fact is different. It does not harm the environment as this is the natural process and and does not harm the environment as well, because these animals are only and only breeded for meat, for their meat. Being a non-vegetarian does not mean we only eat meat and forget the vegetables and dairy. It simply means we also add meat in our normal food diet. So the things that we don't get carbohydrates and the minerals that are only present in plants and vegetarian diet is simply wrong. It is a natural process, as this is a living cycle. If a living predator kills a herbivorous, won't that be called natural? Would that be recognized as a natural living cycle fact? The term that a human digestive system was only made for consuming vegetarian diet is totally wrong. A human digestive system is made to digest non-vegetarian diet and a vegetarian diet together. As my opponent Gursirat stated that we won't go through any deficiency disease if we only eat vegetables. Let me tell you that if everyone becomes vegetarian, many people will face many deficiency diseases such as eating disorder and low vitamin D. If you are a vegetarian, you are more likely to get an eating disorder. And though you might get vitamin D in many vegetarian foods, but a certain vitamin D3 that is only present in animals. And if you are cutting meat from your diet, remember to face this deficiency disease. And my opponent Vedant also stated that a vegetarian lives a healthy life. So let me say that if a non-vegetarian eats meat and then exercises, and if a vegetarian eats a diet and then exercises, the facts and the results are the same. So it's no difference. If all the people eat vegetarian diet, many people will lose their job, such as the butchers, slaughterhouse employees, and livestock farmers. They will lose their money and land. And the poverty in the land in our country will increase. If everyone became vegetarian, the amount of fruits and vegetables will be less, and thus there will be less amount of food for us to consume. It will also disturb the living cycle, as the amount of the vegetarian items, plants will decrease, and the amount of the animals that we consumed will increase. So let me tell you, if you think that vegetarian diet is healthier and better, you are wrong here. A non-vegetarian diet is better, because if you are a non-vegetarian, you can consume the vegetarian diet along with meat, which also gives you many other nutrients. So here is where I will rest my matter, and thank you.
I'm so sorry again. Some technical difficulty and I got disconnected again. Triveni, would you like to continue?
Ma'am, I have finished.
Would you like to continue the last part where I got disconnected? Just
Ma'am,
the
can you actually tell me where did you actually disconnected?
give me a second. I think I lost you where you talked about deficiencies.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
As my worthy opponent Gursirat said that we won't go through any deficiency disease if you only eat veggies, that is you are wrong. Many people will go through many deficiency disease like eating disorders and loss in vitamin D if you are only eating veggies. Sorry, ma'am. If you are only eating veggies, if you are a vegetarian, you are more likely to get eating disorder. And though vitamin a a certain vitamin D3 that is only present in animals. So if you are thinking of cutting meat from your diet, forget it or be ready to face this deficiency. If everyone become vegetarian, many people will lose their job like butchers, slaughterhouse employees and livestock farmers. They will lose their money and land. Everyone thought of becoming a vegetarian. This will result in the amount of fruits and vegetables to decrease in a great way. It will also disturb the living cycle as the amount of vegetarian foods will decrease and the number of the animals that we were eating will increase in great amount, which will mess up the ecological system too. If every and if you think that eating vegetables may keep you healthy and better in health, then remember that vegetarians are less healthier than non-vegetarians because we can consume meat along with other vegetables too. So we get the nutrients from the vegetables and the proteins from the meats in all. So that is where I rest my matter and thank you.
I'm really sorry, Triveni. My net has decided to back up very frequently now.
Ma'am, you're not audible clearly.
Okay, give me a second. Am I still not audible?
Ma'am, your voice is breaking actually.
Okay. Am I clearly audible and visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Triveni, I think we completed your case rather twice. All right. So thank you everyone for coming. We have had speeches of all 6 speakers, 3 from each team, C044 and C005. It was a privilege for me to adjudicate you all. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for giving us your time, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.